Welcome to the Elkhart Rotary Club. It is a beautiful, It's Monday. It's Monday. And those who are joining us from far away, I know at least I saw Terry Rickle. We hope you're enjoying the sunshine. We're gonna channel your Florida weather today. It's a little lousy out there. I hope no one slipped on the way in. It's getting a little icy, was it? A little wait, sort of freezy rain sort of thing going on. This is the greatest Elkhart Rotary Club in Elkhart and the world. I'm going to pay for that one later. Sharon Herstein, could you come up and give us some thoughtful words for the day?
So I'm just going to go with the fact that this is the first Monday in February and not comment on the weather. I'm going to ask you to have an attitude of prayer, and I'm going to share some words with you from a church called the Sacred Grace out in Englewood, Colorado, if this cooperates with me. Seriously? Let's try again. Okay, so this is a prayer for Black History Month. Merciful God, may you bring freedom to those who have been oppressed and enslaved. You are the liberator of your people. May we be a people who reflect your character and advocate for the liberation of people who are pushed down by a system of injustice or prejudice. We thank you this month for leaders like Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, and Martin Luther King Jr. May we follow their lead and fight for freedom at every turn. May we know the weight of our responsibility and the levity of your grace. Amen.
Amen.
Next up is the pledge. I pledge allegiance to
the flag,
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then we have the four-way test. It is fair to all concerned, will build goodwill and better friendships, and will be beneficial to all concerned.
Thank you very much, Sharon. And you were greeted by Eliak Deegan as you came in through the door today. So in addition to those folks visiting from us online, Eliak, would you like to let us know if we've got any guests with us today?
So today we have one visiting Rotarian, Hugh Johnson. We'd like to welcome you. Hugh is from the South Bend Club. And Julie Cotton has three guests. If you'd like to introduce them, Julie.
Absolutely. We have our friends here from Final Stage. We have Jeff, Andrea, and Brian Jacobson. We're happy they're joining us. Hopefully next Monday we won't be guests anymore. So remember.
Thank you.
Excellent, welcome, and we'll introduce our other guests with our speaker who's come in today too. So, thank you all for being here. This is fantastic. If you have any announcements, please come on up front. And while those folks are coming up, I just want to let you know, a reminder that next week we'll have Caleb Craig from the U.S. Olympic swimming team here speaking to us. And I also wanted to make sure that the board, I sent out an invitation last Friday. There is a board meeting this coming Friday morning in person at Elkhart Health and Aquatics, or you can join virtually. We'll do the best we can with that. It's not perfect, but it's a way to get you engaged. We're going to be hearing about several project opportunities, both an international project and a couple of potential for some local projects. So if you're interested in that, join us. And even if you're not a board member, you know that you're always willing, you're always happy. Man, the words, no good words today, words. You're welcome to join us. All club members are welcome at any of our board meetings. And you're happy, welcome to be there this morning. I just need to shut up. Okay, it's a Monday. And one of these survey questions, I've had two of the same response. People would feel more engaged if we had a printed roster of members. And some of you have been in this club long enough, you know, we used to have nice spiral bound printed rosters, kind of glossy. We're not going to do that. But I am personally happy to print a paper roster and hand deliver it or mail it to anyone who would like a printed roster. And this Friday, if you're thinking, oh, that's really nice of Eric, but we don't want him to spend all of his money on his printer paper and ink, on this Friday's email, I'm going to attach an attachment in PDF form. I have not been drinking. It's seriously, it's only noon. I'm going to attach the roster on this Friday's e-newsletter that I send out, and then we can do that. We might have someone who will be willing to print it for us if anybody knows a printer or printing company in the room. But if you would like that, print it on your own when I send it out, or look at it. And if you don't know how to access Club Runner, that's also an issue. So I would love to get you connected to Club Runner. I can reset your password. I can rename your username, anything you'd like. There are ways of solving these things. And someone was honest enough to say, hey, that would help me with engagement. And they said they thought it might help others as well. So if we can do these little things, these are the little things. If we can do those to help people feel more engaged, then we'll do it. So look for that. And if you want me to print it, I'll do it. We might even have more of them printed, but we'll talk about that later, Eric Schultz. Okay, Julie, come on up.
Hello, everyone, and everyone online. Great to see you all here. We are taking things up a notch with our social club, so get ready. And if you specifically would like something to occur in our club, so we're looking to up engagement socially at least monthly and potentially as often as weekly. So if there's something you want to see these people in your lives more frequently doing, let's say like euchre or a softball league or something like that, come tell me and I will look to see how we can work that into the calendar. But mark your calendars. Actually, Bill, I don't know the exact date, but Rotary, it's just been decided that Rotary is going to take a vote out in the United Ways voting cardboard vote. So this is their 100th year, and we are going to have a vote. That'll be one social thing that we do together as a club. So stay tuned for more details on that. And those of you who are cardboard mechanically inclined, make sure you sign up for that team, and we will have the best vote on the water. All right, thanks everyone.
All right. Our marketing committee met today, and you may not be a marketer, but if you have any skills to give, there are a couple of things that we could really use help with. I can call my tiptoes. One of the things that was mentioned on the surveys that Eric sent out was getting to know the members more, and we've done that trivia before that's gone over really well. We would like to take some of those trivia tidbits and put them on slides so they're running throughout. So if there is somebody that would be willing to champion that portion, gathering that data and putting it into a PowerPoint slide, we can create one template and you can just plug it in. Please let me know. Also, one of the other things that we did before COVID was we had table tents. And on each table, there was a plexiglass and it listed all of the different speakers for the upcoming months so that when you come, you can look ahead and know who you want to invite to which speaker. And if there would be somebody, I have a template already created. If there's somebody that would be willing to plug those in each month as well and print them up, that would be great. So if you can help, please see me.
Awesome, thanks, Aaron. Great arm again. That's good. Go. Okay, we're going to have Howard Edwards, our club secretary and foundation chair, come up, and we're going to award some Paul Harris fellows. Julie, or I can help with this. I will help you. Go for it.
All right, good afternoon, our fellow Rotarians present and also online. Before we get into the Paul Harris Fellow presentations, just want to continue to say to everybody, great job on donating to the foundation. We're off to a great start, and we want to make sure that President Eric meets the goal that we have set for this upcoming year, which we'll probably wait to make an announcement next week to let you know where we're at and what our goal is and how close we are. We have several new Rotarians, that first-time Rotarians. We want to go ahead and recognize Ernest Larry Knight. We also would like to recognize Carl William Rist II. And Mrs. Ashley Bowman. I won't tell you the Christmas Santa Claus joke that we discussed, but and we also have another Rotarian that he emailed me. He said, Howard, I'm 94 years young. I'm homebound and I'm not able to get out. He said, but if you want to make an announcement and have someone drop this off to me, so we will. We will recognize Robert Peterson for Paul Harris Fellow +2 and +3. And our President Eric said that he will take them to him. So thank you very much. We will decide next month. We had 7 other Rotarians to be recognized, but unfortunately, quite a few of them were in nice weather or traveling today. They're not here. As they said, wait till April. I'll be back, Howard. So we'll still have some more presentations in March and April. Thank you.
Yep, I'm that guy who says, sure, I'll drop them off without checking where Bob's address is. Anyone like a neighbor of Bob's? Okay, seeing none, I will make that trek, and maybe we'll get lucky and it's close. Awesome. All right. Shortly, and I actually see Bill is here, the chair of our donations committee. We're going to be getting the application out for this year's scholarships and little grants that we'll be doing through the donations committee. By the way, a great suggestion was brought up last week at our executive committee meeting. And Bill, I haven't talked to you about this, but one of the thoughts was including volunteer service as a request on those grant applications from our local not-for-profits. And was that you, Julie? You had you had some good suggestions. So that is one thing that we'll be adding to that application this year. Bill's going to take a look at it. We'll get it all sorted out before we get it distributed. It will be available online, but just know that if you've got not-for-profits that you are aware of, and obviously we have a bunch here in our club, if you've got some folks who think that they also might need some volunteer service, that's another one of those themes that's coming through in the surveys that you are all returning that say we want the opportunity to go out and do hands-on things. And so that will be another aspect of that. So maybe in addition to us giving away a little money, we'll also be able to get a group together and go out and do some service. So it makes sense, right? So to help raise those funds, we're going to have Bill Reith come up as our sergeant today. Give generously, give often. Those of you online, make sure you go to our website, elkhartrotary.org, click on the donate button, and you can make your donation from the comfort of your own home. Bill?
Thank you, Eric. Thank you. Love being behind the microphone where I belong. Last week, we began the Winter Olympics in Beijing, China. This is the first time that the Winter and Summer Olympics have been hosted in the same city. Anybody know what they had in Beijing? They had the Summer Olympics in 2008. Little bit of background history here. The first Winter Olympics were held in France in 1924. Originally, they had 16 sports from 16 countries. Since then, the number of sports at the Winter Games has tripled and the number of countries has quadrupled. A couple other little obscure facts about the Winter Olympics. Most Winter Olympic athletes keep their money in snowbanks. These are true facts. The favorite breakfast food of many Winter Olympic athletes is Frosted Flakes. And fans of winter sports need to face the facts that Olympic skiing is going downhill. So if you either laughed or groaned at these little trivia facts about the Winter Olympics, I see Ashley is smiling there, then please put in a buck. Now, as we think about the Olympics, I'd like to share a few more obscure Olympic facts. Rope climbing, tug of warring, and club swinging were once Olympic sports. Club swinging, in case you're not familiar with this great Olympic sport, consisted of swinging a club around with ribbons around your body and head in kind of a dance movement. Apparently, rudimentary gym skills like shimmying up a rope were all it took to win Olympic gold in the early 20th century. I guess if I lived in the early 1900s, I could be an Olympic athlete as the anchor for an Olympic tug of war team. So if you've ever participated in one of these historic Olympic sports by climbing a rope, playing tug of war, or swinging a club, including a golf club, then put in a buck. Live doves are an enduring symbol of peace, and these used to be released at every Olympic opening ceremony. But the tradition came to an abrupt end when the birds used in the 1988 Seoul Games sadly flew the wrong way and flew into the lit Olympic cauldron and incinerated themselves on live TV. Sadly, because of this tragic accident and these poor doves, we now only have fake doves at the Olympics. So if you've ever cooked a bird of any type, whether it's a chicken, turkey, or dove, then put in a buck. In honor of the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics, McDonald's offered free burgers, fries, and Cokes every time a U.S. athlete reached the medals podium. However, something happened unique in 1984. The Soviet Union, an Olympic powerhouse, decided to boycott the Games, and USA went on an unprecedented winning streak. As a result of this, many McDonald's locations ran out of hamburgers, buns, and even Coca-Cola. One McDonald's representative said that while the promotion, it was a huge success, it was also the most costly in the company's history. McDonald's, like many corporations, sometimes it takes a while to learn their lesson. In this case, their lesson about giving away food. McDonald's is featured in many Olympic villages. And in the Olympic villages, McDonald's, the food is free for the Olympic athletes and coaches. However, McDonald's, after the 2016 Games in Rio, had to make a slight adjustment. After those games, they limit Olympic athletes and coaches to 20 items per person. Apparently, they had athletes that would come in and get more than 20 items at one sitting. So if you've ever had an order of less than 20 items at a McDonald's, chicken nuggets, Big Macs, quarter pounders, fries, then put in a buck that you eat a little less than these Olympic athletes. At the 2014 Sochi Winter Olympics, Canadian beer company Molson installed a fridge of free libations in the Team Canada house. Now, to ensure that only Canadians could enjoy their free beer, they had a special vending machine created that would remain locked unless it was unlocked with an electronic passport reader that only recognized Canadian passports. All others would have to pay for their beer. So if you've ever wished that you were a Canadian, or wish that you got free beer regularly, or if you're aware that Canada is some country to the north of us that makes beer, then put in a buck. And speaking of drinking beer, where do Olympic gymnasts go to drink? Uneven bars. And finally, I'm very excited about this little bit of Olympic trivia. In 2024, breakdancing will be an official Olympic sport in Paris. In fact, I'm head over heels with anticipation. If you haven't maxed out, then please do so.
Thank you, Bill. I can just imagine those power lifters going in there to McDonald's. That just doesn't seem like the right diet to be a power lifter by any means. Okay, excellent. Again, all that money goes to great causes. All of our local not-for-profits here in the community, the more we raise, the more we're able to give out, the more we're able to amplify the good that we do.
If you're online, you can do it on the app.
That's right. And if you're online, you can just get on there and donate. Don't forget. Okay. By the way, I wanted to point out, and I have up the online folks, I have the chat visible just so you're aware, and I always do on the screen. So Don Fisher, I want to both just point you out and show this as an example of commitment to the Elkhart Rotary Club, that even though Dawn has a meeting going on right now, she says, I'm in a meeting multitasking, but it's good to see everyone. So that's fantastic, Dawn. We appreciate that. You can turn the volume up though. That'd be pretty cool. Let them know we're here. We'll say hello. We can engage. All right. If you had been paying attention to our speaker calendar, you may have known that we were scheduled to have Dr. AJ Mencius here today from South Bend Orthopedics to talk to us a little bit. And unfortunately, we had Dr. Mencius had a family emergency and was unable to be here. However, we are very, very fortunate that we have someone able to come and fill in for him today. And I would like to welcome, this is the time where I'm supposed to have this out on my phone, so I can tell you a little about Heather Meyer-Schlipp. Heather has served as the Managing Director of South Bend Orthopedics since 2019, helping to dramatically improve organizational growth, company culture, and community involvement. She has built her career organically within the practice, joining SBO in 2010, and is responsible for SBO's overall strategic growth and exceptional operational excellence. She is a passionate person about mentoring her leadership team and cultivating their skills, helping women succeed and grow their personal careers. Heather received her BS in Marketing and Management from the University of Evansville and her MBA from IU South Bend. So Heather, we're really happy to have you here today. Come on up. We'll get you squared away here on the. Right, we're all about technical stuff here. So there's that. We're going to do the slideshow. We're going to minimize that guy and just put it up there in the corner. You don't have any graphics up in the upper right hand corner. And I think we're good there. So you're just going to advance and just make sure that you're speaking in here, because we have folks that can hear.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for inviting us. And I apologize and appreciate you being so understanding. Dr. Mencius was extremely thrilled to come and to meet you all, kind of put a face with a name, and just kind of really talk about how SBO can join with your community. This is the perfect location for us to be able to do that, so that we're not just a private practice, you know, on the other side of that invisible line in South Bend. We want to come here and work with you. So thank you for graciously allowing me to step in. And thank you to Hugh and J2's team for also setting this up for us. But again, my name is Heather Meyer Schlip. I don't know if my doctors will ever get used to the fact that I got married, so I think my name will always be hyphenated. But just a little bit about South Bend Ortho. I think when I first moved to South Bend, everyone had a story. They either had a great story and a great experience, or they had another experience with our practice. And I think that's always really important to point out whenever you're in that healing journey. And so South Bend Orthopedics has been around since 1947. This year, we're celebrating our 75th year. So we're working with J2 on how can we promote that? How can we celebrate that? And it really kind of joins together with how can we add another 75 years and work with your community. As we mentioned earlier, my joy and my goal for this year is really talking about the patient experience. And so I need your help to find out how can we improve. And so that's so that we can continue on for another 75 years as a private practice, as a group that builds with the community, joins with the community, and helps heal all of our members. We do have locations in South Bend, Mishawaka, Elkhart, LaPorte, and Plymouth, and really believe that it's important for us to actually come to where you all are. Coming to us isn't necessarily the greatest thing. We want to be able to be very respectful of your time, and so we want to come to the community where we can actually grow and nurture with you. Just a little bit of a statistic is the fact that there are 46 million people in the United States that are over 65. And I think that's powerful, but we don't necessarily care about that 46. We care about the one. You know, what's happening in your health, in your life, whether it's your own personal, your family members, your parents, your spouse. It's that one individual that means the most to you. And so that's who we want to cater to. We think it's amazing that there are this many clients and potential patients that we could help treat and help heal. But it's that one individual when you're with our doctors that we want to make you feel very important, taken care of, trusted, valued, and everything. Within our practice, so just in 2021, we had over 14,000 surgeries. And again, that's incredible, and that shows to what we actually do as a practice. But there's so much more to that, and it is that one surgery. This year, we're talking about a patient concierge feel to medicine. And what that means to me and my team is that we want to focus on, do you have all of the information that you need? Did you get all of your questions answered when you spoke to our doctors? Do you know what to do when you're on your way to the hospital or to the surgery center for that surgery? That can be scary. And so we want to make sure that you also feel like you get that 100% focus from our group, not only our surgeons who are incredible, but also from our staff and all the steps that follow after that. We have 23 board certified surgeons. So that means that they are continuously educating themselves as to what is the latest and the greatest in technology. They're practicing and honing their skills. And they're working with collaborative with each other so that if it's not in their wheelhouse, we have another provider within the practice that can do that as well. And then I pose the question to you all. We currently have a South Bend Ortho now. So it's an orthopedic urgent care at our South Bend office, close to the mall. Is that something that Elkhart would like to see? Would you like a walk-in clinic that is just catered to the orthopedic needs so that you don't have to go to the ER? That's where I'd love to begin building this relationship, and then also having, Dr. Mencius here so that you guys could ask him questions. But is that something that works well in your life, that would work well for the community? And where would be the best location for that? We want to actively engage you and the community members so that we're answering the needs the most appropriately versus just assuming what you need. That's not a great way to build a partnership. So when we were working with J2, they came up with 3 different pillars that were real focuses or strengths of our organization. So one of them is obviously the Notre Dame connection. We have been partnering with the University of Notre Dame since 1949, and they demand excellence. And so what we love about putting that up there and kind of promoting that is not only that we are trusted and chosen by the university, but that they expect us to stay up to date, to treat their athletes. And oftentimes I will hear from patients saying, you know, I'm just as important as a Notre Dame athlete. And they're right. You're right if you say that. And so that's why when we're talking with my team now, it's how do we make sure that every single person that comes through our door feels valued. But at the same time, it's trusting that Notre Dame is picking us to take care of their athletes, that we meet those expectations and that we hold ourselves to that same level. So we're very proud of that relationship with them, proud of what we can do for their team, but also want to do the same thing for you. The next item is our innovation. As I mentioned, they are all board certified, meaning they have to go through credentialing and through continuing ed. And so we are proud of the fact that we don't just focus on what is the fad, what is the latest and greatest. We focus on what is the most appropriate need for the patients. And recently we installed a 3T MRI. I am not going to be up here explaining to you what a 3T MRI scan could look like, because I'm not the surgeon. But from a layman's term, we really wanted to focus on the patient. For instance, a lot of times people feel kind of claustrophobic when they are going in for an MRI. It's loud, it's noisy, you're in pain, you have to stay still. So we have the 3T that's now faster, it's quieter. We have a warming blanket so that people can feel comfortable when they're in there. And then we also put a window in that room so that it can kind of help with some of that claustrophobia. And so you have that natural light to put you more at ease. So again, we have not only the technology and the innovation, but we're also trying to really put ourselves into your shoes so that you feel comfortable, that I would feel comfortable. But the images themselves are also pretty incredible. They're very clear. I don't know what they're saying, but they're very clear, and the surgeons do. The last thing is our growth, and that is part of the reason why we're here today. We believe that coming to Elkhart and coming to your community is beneficial. We believe in the surgeons that we have. We believe in the innovation, but we want to know what you want. We're planning to open a large location here so that we can treat you in your community. Again, we don't want you to have to feel like you're coming to us. That's not effective for your life. It's not efficient with your time. If you need to go to work and then you've got an appointment, we want to be in your backyard so that you know who you're talking to, so that your surgeon is, you know, going to lunch at the local restaurant down the street during their lunch hour, so that you're involved and so that we're involved. And so looking to you to say what can we do to help merge that and to help bridge it. And so I'm very excited to kind of hear what you have to say and what your needs are. But we are thrilled to open up a location here. Right now we do have a small location over by Litton's. And so welcome to take a look. Hopefully no one has to come there, but if you do, we are there to help treat you. And then obviously Elkhart has an incredible industry in our area. My husband and I, we bought a camper, you know, at the beginning of COVID, because we said, well, we're not going anywhere else, so let's go camping. And we bought one, you know, from this area. That's so incredible. And so we would like to not only as an SBO practice, but try and recognize the fact that employees need to get back to work pretty quickly. You need your employees to get back to work quickly so that they can take care of their families, that we can meet deadlines. And so by SBO being in the area, it reduces some of that time so that that employee is away from work. They get great treatment. They, you know, we partner with the employer so that you can get better rates and hopefully work on a way that we can help our workers' comp. And then again, we just have our 5 locations. Obviously, like I mentioned, we want to be where you are. We want to be where the community needs us. And so looking to you all to say, your words have power. I've never been to a Rotary meeting before, but I loved this list. And as soon as I was hearing it, I thought to myself, how can I incorporate that in with my managers? Is this true? Is this fair for all concerned? Those are incredible. So your words have power in every different way. And it was very enlightening for me just to hear like those earlier on. But your words have power too for SBO. What is it that the community wants? So I open it up for communication. I open it up for questions. I will help answer anything that you guys have, or I'll take it back to our group and say, this is what you all are saying. This is what you need. And so I'm very excited for the opportunity. I hope that one day when Dr. Mencius or one of our other partners, that they'll be able to join and that you can have a very candid conversation with them. But for right now, this is just the opening. So I'm so thankful. I appreciate all of you so much and open the floor for any questions. Yes, sir.
So how many patients per year will roll through your facilities?
That's up to the community, where our plan is to be open 5 days a week. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. She even warned me. So the question was how many patients would be rolling through the new facility? So the answer is really it's whatever the need is for the public, but our plan is to have be open 5 days a week, and we would have at least 2 to 3 surgeons in that facility every single day. And then the question to you all of, do you want a walk-in clinic? Would that be beneficial? Would that be something that the community needs? Or do we need to help direct that to another clinic that you all have? Does that answer the question? Yes, ma'am.
For your rehabilitation services, if someone, let's say, had surgery off-site, are they able to do their rehab with you?
Great question. So the question is, could someone who had surgery off-site, could they also do their rehab at our facility? And the answer is yes. So we would have a therapy office at this new location, and we welcome. Of course, we would love for everyone to come to Southland Orthopedics. That's a given. That's just a business practice. But really, our principle is healing. So what is best for the patient as they're going through their healing journey? Not many people, when we met with Hugh last year, Amanda and we said, orthopedics is kind of boring. How do you market Southland Orthopedics? And Hugh says the opposite. He's like, it's not boring, it's great. But really, ultimately, is we want people to heal. We want them to feel better. We know that people don't want to come to an orthopedic surgeon because that means that they're hurt and they're in pain. So how can we make that a little bit easier for them? Yes, sir.
I guess 2 questions.
Certainly.
Related. One was you talked a little bit about Notre Dame. I'm curious how busy the university keeps doctors, as in what percentage are you seeing
Sure.
for folks? And the second is I'm curious, what is the most common thing people are being seen for?
Oh, excellent questions. Okay, so how many patients are we seeing that are Notre Dame athletes? I would say I don't know the exact number, but I do know that we keep up. We're a busy office, but we recognize that, and so we are continuously growing. So we track quite often kind of what the needs of the community are, what the ages of the population are, and studies have found that you want to have one orthopedic surgeon per specialty. So hand, spine, foot and ankle, total joint. You want 1 surgeon for every 100, no, I'm sorry, that's not true. You want 6 to 8 surgeons for every 100,000 people in a population. So that's kind of that general range. But that's not really focused on, is that allowing that surgeon to give them time to get all of their questions answered. So we watch that quite often, but I mean, we have athletes come in and out of the office all the time. Sometimes the surgeons will have to go to that facility, but usually those are sports related, right? They're not coming in for a total joint. So if it all kind of depends on the different flex of the athletes. Your second question was the most common. Great question. I would say that our most common surgeries are total joint. So that is the most common. I would say that the most common coming into like our walk-in clinic are usually, I've got some knee pain, I've got some back pain. It's those individuals that they don't know quite yet what to do, but they know that it's finally time to talk to somebody because they're tired of dealing with it. So, so those are kind of our two areas, but total joint would definitely be our top surgical. Sorry, thank you.
Are there plans for a new facility
In the area?
in the area?
Yes, there are plans. Are there plans for a new facility? Yes, there are plans for a new facility. They're not finalized, which is why I think that this is so that we can make tweaks to that plan as the community deserves and wants. But we do have plans. We have talked to an architect. We have talked to land development. We want to ingrain ourselves into your community and be part of the community. We have Amanda Smith here. She is one of our physician liaisons, and she is part of the Elkhart Leadership Group, the academy. So she has been attending those meetings and learning from your groups. She's building in her career growth so that she can become a better leader, but it's also so that we are fully involved. It's been incredible to learn. I'm not native to South Bend. I'm from about an hour south of Indy. And so I had to learn that area. And now it's saying, well, what amazing organizations are there that just need us, that we want our name on the back of, your grandkids' soccer jersey. We want to help support that, but you all know who to go to. You all know who the teams are that need our help, and so we want to be there. It's not just total joints; it's sports. It's you hurt and fall, and you fall and hurt yourself. We want to be there. We want to be top of mind if something does happen in your life that's significant.
Heather, are you at liberty to say what areas you're looking? What are prospective locations for those?
Am I at liberty to say where? We are so close to saying where. We are waiting on a few zoning issues, so I don't want to pop the bubble too soon. So I'd love to say yes, but I can't say it at the moment, so I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
You talked about growth. What is the experience of trying to recruit physicians to come to the South Bend?
Wonderful question. What is the willingness of kind of people to recruit, and how do we do that? I'll be honest, the Notre Dame connection helps us a lot. A lot of times it's that foot through the door. So when I'm meeting,
when people ask us who we are, and
we're
we're
that is looking
1.4 million neighbors.
I don't know something. Sorry. Oh, it was somebody else's screen, I think. Sorry. So when I am recruiting, I am talking to their families. I'm getting them involved. And my message back to them is, you will probably make more money or be offered more money from a hospital. We can't compete with that. But what we can compete with is we are a local group. We have ties within the community. We build a family network. We ask their wives or their spouses or whoever to come and join them, and we give them tours of the area. So if we're going to recruit for your space, which is the goal, we want people, we want our surgeons to come here, but we want to know, what do you guys need? What does this community need? And so we would recruit that same way and say, how can we build the relationship within your communities? But no, the Notre Dame connection does give us kind of an in, because it's always interesting. I mean, what person out of school wouldn't want to say, yeah, I work for the University of Notre Dame athletic department. So it is helpful, but that is not the end all. The end all is the fact that we are a private practice, that we can help make decisions, that they can treat the patient the way that they would like to be treated, and that they're not going to be dictated by what a hospital may or may not ask them to do. Now, the hospitals are phenomenal to work with, but we have to compete against them a little bit. Yes, sir.
I have a comment.
Certainly.
And a question.
Okay.
My comment is, for the last 10 or so years, we've been taking my daughter to see Dr. Margaret
Okay.
for rehabilitation. And I can tell you that the overall relationship with SBO
He's such a
And
kind
my
man.
question is, my pinky finger hurts. Can you take a look at it?
I cannot. But Dr. Mencius 100% would have. I wouldn't.
That was a joke.
I know, but honestly, I love the men and women that I work with. They are real people. Some of them grew up in the area, some of them moved back, but they really do care. Now, do they want to be out to dinner and be asked to take a look at your pinky? Probably not, but would they? Yes. I mean, they care and they love what they're doing. And so it's very exciting for me to work with individuals that are that passionate. So I love that. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have on-site facilities? So let's say someone were to have surgery that was not an outpatient surgery and they need to stay somewhere. Is your facility large enough to accommodate like overnight and things like that?
The new location that we're looking at?
Yeah.
So we're looking to actually, so the cost savings for the healthcare dollar for the patient is outpatient. So surgery center is the way to go because it does save money. Now, hospitals have such a big impact into that too. We cannot be a healthcare system without our hospitals. So I by no means I'm trying to negate what they're doing. But our plan would be to have a surgery center. So could you have overnight stays? No, but would we build our relationships with the facilities here that if something were to happen, a doctor is always going to take you to where you're safest to have surgery, always. Yes.
For your more significant surgery, joint replacement, those type of things, where are those procedures performed?
Great question. So where are the total joints or the significant surgeries completed? We actually do many of our total joints at our surgery center. But in order for that to happen, the provider goes through a checklist to make sure that you are going to be safe. So again, they would not do anything that would cause any potential harm. They would always err on the side of caution. But we have found many of our surgeries where total joints can happen at the surgery center very easily. It saves money and you're back home. Yes.
How big a hit did you guys take with COVID?
We were very fortunate. So how big of a hit with COVID? We were very fortunate that we were able to keep every single employee. We did a week and a B week schedule. And the reason that we did that was so that we could continue to treat our patients without having so many people in the same building. So we were very, very fortunate. Thankful that we're on the mend and can kind of get back to life. But it impacted us in that we, reduced what we were seeing in a given week, but we were able to bounce back pretty quickly. We did a week, B week for 6 weeks, and then we were back to full flow. And thankfully we had our surgery center because the hospitals were not allowing electives, right? So we weren't able to do elective surgeries at our hospitals so that they could focus on what they needed to do, which was great and thankful. But we were able to continue some surgeries at our surgery center. So having a surgery center in this area would have helped with some of that. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Maybe you already hit on this, and I was listening, I apologize. For the Elkhart location, what is the time frame that you're looking at? And who are you still wanting to talk to get information about the community, to learn how you shape that?
Great. So we would love to talk to anyone. The nice things about planning is I think now is the time that we can make those adjustments. And even if the architectural plans are kind of set in place, what contractor architect doesn't love a change order request, which is not true. They don't love those, but we want to make this right. We want the facility to be exactly what the needs of the community are. So we would welcome that communication, I would say, for the next year. Even if we started construction on it fairly soon, we would still be able to make changes inside that were appropriate. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I know we can go.
Do you have preventative services as well, or is it mostly focused towards people that are like so far gone that they absolutely need surgery, or do you do any kind of preventative measures?
Absolutely. Do we do preventative measures? I think that ties into like Dr. Markley. We have many surgeons. I mean, surgery to cut is not always the end all. We want people to heal. So that's where we have the MRI, we'd have the therapy, just so that you can have that preventative. One, it's a requirement. Many insurances require that preventative measures prior to going into surgery, but surgery is a very big decision. And that's why our focus is that concierge discussion. I want every single person that leaves our practice that is signing up for surgery to feel like they know exactly what the next steps are, so that they can feel comfortable, so that their spouse or whoever is taking care of them can feel comfortable. So no, our goal is to focus on exactly that. How can we get the best possible treatment? And if it's preventative, it's preventative. We don't need it to be surgical. But if it is, our surgeons are ready.
Really quick,
Yes,
before you
please.
leave that, could you introduce your guests? I'm sorry,
Absolutely.
they are right about here.
Perfect.
There we go.
Here
there we go.
on my right, so this is Amanda Smith. She is our physician liaison, which means that she is our community outreach. She is the person that I want to go to the referral providers and say, how are things going? Be honest with me. Are you having trouble, getting information back and forth from our doctors? Are your patients upset? How can I be that roadblock, and build that bridge? So that's Amanda. And then Hannah is our executive assistant. She also helps with just making things run smoothly. So any kind of problem that comes up, she is our connection. And so could not do a lot of this without her. So happy and thankful to have both of them here. And thank you all so much for inviting us. I'm sorry that I'm not Dr. Mencius and have a bunch of miscellaneous stories, but I do love where we work, and I love what we do, and I'm excited for the future, and hope that you communicate with us of what you need. We're excited to be your partners.
Excellent. I'm sure Heather will hang around for a few more minutes if anyone has extra questions, but I really appreciate you speaking with us, and especially that idea of connectedness to the community. And obviously that's good business practice, but it's good language for us as Rotarians when we talk about that and that connectivity. One of the things that this club did to really get engaged was on its 100th anniversary of Rotary International back in 2005. They founded Wellfield Botanic Gardens. I'm not sure if you've heard of it before. I see nodding, that's good. We have for you, and I'll send you with one for Dr. Mencius, and I'll also send you some additional, but I have some passes for you to go check it out. Wait for the weather to clear, although it's beautiful, not today. It's beautiful. It was on the weekend when it was sunny, the snow, but this club made that, and that was something they did to really create something special for the community, and we want to share that with you. So before you get out of here, make sure I give you those. And I just wanted to say too, on Friday, that email I sent out, I put the survey link in there. I'm going to send it out one more time. We got a few more hits over the weekend, but I hope that you all know that we are taking those very seriously. And right now that means me. I'm looking at those. And so I want everybody to know, one, taking these very seriously, but I also appreciate how honest everyone has been. And everyone is clearly getting is it the truth? And there's been some great stuff on there. A lot of, as I said, anything that we need to keep confidential and keeping confidential, but everyone has some great points. Will we be able to address everything? We're going to try. Will we modify and come up with some creative solutions to things? Absolutely. But the more input we have, and some of these are making us realize we'll probably need a few more specific questions as to what some of you are going for, because we're looking at creating another ongoing strategic plan for the next couple of years. The timing is perfect because I'm going to pass it off to Todd. And then Todd's going to pass it off to Julie. But no, they're excited, and Julie is mentioned today in marketing that we can do this, and we can create these things. We are an evolving club, and I don't think that there's anyone in here that would deny that we are not changing in many ways due to many different reasons. But we're going to try to make it the best we can and make sure that it serves as many needs as we can. So with that, go out and thank you for making the community a better place. Heather and Amanda and Hannah, thank you again for being here today, as are all of our guests, and Rotary is adjourned. Thanks everybody online. And if you'd like to take home